Praise be to Jesus. Hi again, everyone. Charles here with you. So we're going to continue here with the Pope Francis chronology. We're up to July 13th, 2013. Pope reportedly says that 1 in 50 clergy are pedophiles, including bishops and cardinals. This is from CBS News. I forgot to say that on the first video, where it's from. So in case you wanted to look it up, you could just Google what the Pope said, and then CBS News, and the article should come up. Well, was that 2%? Well, when you think about 400,000 priests in the world, that would be like 8,000. Wow. Okay, well, July 16th, 2013. Vatican offers, boy, this one's a good one, quote, time off purgatory, unquote, for followers of Pope Francis's tweets. That's from CBS News. He can't do that. I mean, how can he possibly do that? I mean, God can only do that. Jesus can only do that. That's ridiculous. It's amazing. July 26th. Pope Francis tells youth, quote, be rebellious and mess with dioceses. Pope Francis told a group of Argentine pilgrims to World Youth Day, I want to tell you something. What it is that I expect as a consequence of World Youth Day, I want a mess. We know that in Rio there would be great disorder, but I want trouble in the diocese, he said, speaking off the cuff in his native Spanish. That's from the Washington Times. Well, he's got that, that's for sure. Well, a mess or confusion, whatever. If you just look at the post that was just yesterday, you'll see, some cardinals and bishops issued a declaration of truce, and they talk about how much confusion there is. All right, July 29th, 2013. When asked about gay priests, Pope Francis replied, who am I to judge? That's from the New York Times. Yeah, the famous who am I to judge? August the 6th. Pope restricts use of Latin Mass by Franciscan friars of the Immaculate. That's from the National Catholic Reporter. August the 30th. Pope Francis breaks protocol by bowing to the Queen of Jordan. That's from the Telegraph. And he kisses the feet of, who was he? I don't know. Well, I know he's kissing the feet of prisoners, on Holy Thursday, but he was, well, he's kissing the hands of a lot of people and bowing to them, It's just, of course, this is all from 2013, so there's a lot more to go here. All right, August 28th. Pope Francis's communion wafers made by prisoners in Argentina. That's from the Huffington Post. August 31st. Pope Francis begins the papal selfie trend. I think that's just an observation on their part. It wasn't reported in any paper. The papal selfie trend. September 4th. Pope Francis says, quote, the issue for those who do not believe in God is in obeying their own conscience, unquote. That's from the National Catholic Register. That's the issue? What the issue is to help them come to a belief in Christ. That's the issue, because that's where their salvation is. They're going to obey their own conscience. What is their conscience full of except the enemy? All right, next one. September 11th. Pope implies the Virgin Mary has defects, saying, "The Church and the Virgin Mary are mothers. All mothers have defects. We all have defects. But when we speak of our mother's defects, we gloss over them." So it sounds to me like he's denying the Immaculate Conception. And saying Mary is just another person, a defective mother. That's from Vatican.va. All right, September 13th. Pope says the Church is obsessed with gays, abortion, and birth control. Quote, "It is not necessary to talk about these issues all the time. We have to find a new balance," unquote. That's from the New York Times. Sweep them under the table. September 20th. Pope speaks out against churches, quote, "small-minded rules," unquote. That's from ABC News. I'm getting a kick out of this. September 27th. When speaking of adoration, Pope Francis says, "Fall asleep then. Sleep. He is still looking at you," unquote. A strange comment. September 30th. Now let me check the time here. We're up to 7 minutes already. All right. September the 30th. Pope Francis said, quote, "A person once asked me in a provocative manner if I approved of homosexuality. I replied with another question. Tell me, when God looks at a gay person, does he endorse the existence of this person with love or reject and condemn this person? We must always consider the person." That's from American Magazine. October the 1st. Pope Francis says, this is one of these words I have trouble with, "Proselytism is solemn nonsense. It makes no sense. We need to get to know each other, listen to each other, and improve our knowledge of the world around us. The most serious of the evils that afflict the world these days are youth unemployment and the loneliness of the old. These are the most serious evils, Unbelievable. Each of us has a vision of good or evil. We have to encourage people to move towards what they think is good." Oh, really? What they think is good? Well, we know what the world thinks is good, and that's sin. Everyone has his own idea of good and evil and must choose to follow the good and fight evil as he conceives them. See, this comes down to the whole one world religion, and where, it's based on secular humanitarianism, and, God is like a sideshow. In other words, who God is not a fundamental part of this religious, what's called a religious belief system, and I use the word religious loosely. Who God is depends on the person, all right? The person, it's like a private thing. That's why he's really into Muslims, because it's a one relationship with Allah. All right, so, and fight evil as he conceives them. And here he's going to find unity in the concept of who God is. No, he's not. That's why God is a sideshow to this one world religion. And basically, I don't even think God's going to be hardly ever mentioned in this one world religion. That would be enough to make the world a better place. Oh, jeez. I believe in God, not in a Catholic God. There is no Catholic God. There is God, and I believe in Jesus Christ, his incarnation. Jesus is my teacher and my pastor, but God the Father, Abba, is the light and the creator. This is my being. This is from La Repubblica. He doesn't believe in a Catholic God. He doesn't believe in a Christian God. October 10th. Vatican recalls Pope Francis's medals after Jesus' name is misspelled. Okay, that's from CBS News. How we doing with the time? I got to keep on checking the time. All right, so we're going to stop here because we're up. We're getting over 10 minutes again here, and I try to do this 10 minutes at a time. Okay, so we'll just keep on doing this. We're still in 2013, so obviously this would be a couple of weeks or something. So, I'll put one up every morning. I think one a day is enough. Okay, so we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.